Speaking of my boy, Sir Charles, we love you, then we hate you, then we love you again.
Charlie.
Jesus Christ.
Charlie Barkley.
Another elder statesman in the basketball community, flaming baby JJ again. JJ Redick. The Sharks are coming for you, man. JJ Redick was flamed by Charles Barkley because Charles apparently heard JJ Redick say that the sports media world is a part of the problem with promoting the game, that they're making it seem like it's worse than what it is and it's an ugly game instead of promoting it the right way. And Charles Barkley responded on the air at TNT.
Was he just talking about folks on TV?
He said something about we're the reason people ain't watching this crappy product we got. JJ. Yeah, us. Like, we out there jacking up 100 threes a night. JJ, I don't know Jason Monroe. I don't know who that is, but JJ, you come for the king, you better not miss. I can get it. Remember, I got your Lakers games. You can't hide them flaws they got. You just a dead man walking. They got rid of Frank Vogel, who did a good job. They got rid of Darvingham, who did a good job. But you came out there thinking you were going to change things with that same ugly girl you went on the date with.
64-51 was your halftime score. If we get back to the highlights, and Rudy Gobert.
No, he came in there thinking, I can make this thing work. Hell, you can.
77, 71.
Put some makeup on that pig.
Man, the Lakers are big.
The Lakers stink, man.
Oh, man, okay.
Come on, man.
Tatum, by the way, has 37.
All right, the Lakers stink. They're 20-14 now, by the way. They're 6 games above 500. Way better than what Darvingham did last year. They did ask JJ Redick about Barkley's comments.
They did.
And yeah, let's see what he had to say. Eyes on the prize. Basketball season is heating up, and PrizePicks is the best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. You can now win up to 1,000 times your money on PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the best way to get action on sports in more than 30 states, including California, Texas, Georgia, and Florida. PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action. Join over 10 million users and sign up today. PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Download the app today and use the code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. Run your game.
I don't know why. It's not funny to me. Nothing is entertaining to me. This game should be celebrated. I've watched the league evolve. I'm in this league right now. The league is more talented. And not just raw talent. The league is more talented and skilled than it was 18 years ago when I was drafted. That's a fact. There are more players that are excellent. There are more teams that are excellent. We don't have anybody that's willing to step up to the fact that this is an awesome game and we should talk about it and celebrate it in a positive way.
So JJ responded by saying that somebody texted him the clip of Barkley talking about him, and JJ just didn't even finish it. He was like, "Yeah, I got some more words about that, but I don't even have any thought to it." And like with the same fashion that got him flamed by Jerry West, it again, Flea, JJ's arrogance, it is his opinion. And there's a lot of people's opinions. The game is more talented, more skilled than ever before. Where do you land on this? Because Barkley's saying, like, you blaming us for people not watching the game? Like you were coaching the game. How are you blaming us? Where do you land on this?
I think the arrogance is what rubs people the wrong way about JJ Redick, about how he responds to things. Even all of his post-game pressers, every time I see him right now, there is a level of arrogance to him on how he's addressing the media on all of their questions, good, bad, indifferent, whatever. It just seems like a level, right? But he is right to a certain degree that the game should be celebrated a lot more, right? I was always a proponent of being really, really old school. Like, y'all, you know me. Like, I've got a real old school soul, even though, I consider myself still on the younger side, but my soul is old. And, you know, I love old school basketball. And, you know, like I said, I read books, grew up all that. So I love the old game. But I also understand that the game is going to evolve and the game is going to be different. And the guys that are playing right now, we got to celebrate them. We can't be that old man on the porch, get off my lawn type shit. Like, we can't be that, right? And there's got to be a balance to that. I like when some of the old school guys and the older guys interact with the younger generation and the interaction looks like seamless. I like that. I remember when T-Mac was working out Jaylen Brown and they was working, you know, early in Jaylen Brown's first couple of years. You remember that? Jaylen Brown was working out with T-Mac and they was, you know, building a relationship. Giannis was working out with Kevin Garnett. So I like when the older generation embraces the younger generation. But what's happening is there's becoming this big disconnect of trying to blame the way the game is played now on why people are not watching. And as we get older, the younger generation is coming behind. It just is what it is. And they're going to do things way different. Way different. Am I mad at the game? No, this is not the game that I grew up on. But I love basketball, so I'm still enjoying it. And so where I don't really – the best two players in the league right now, Fabian, best two players in the league right now, the MVPs of the league, the last couple, are all big men doing big man shit. We complain about all the threes being shot, right? I sat back and kind of looked at it, right, for a second. All the best players in the league right now are not just three-point shooters. You have a lot more guys on your team that create space that can hit shots. But the best players in the league to this day are still the ones that get buckets in the mid-range. They're still ones that have great footwork, that have a post game, that know how to draw fouls, get to the line, have a great IQ, could pass, all that type of shit. They're not just sole three-point shooters. So there's got to be a balance. So I don't even know who I really side with, because there is a part of this game right now that is so undisciplined. And JJ needs to be honest about that. As talented as the league is, they are not as disciplined as what we grew up on or what you came in with, JJ. It's just not. The same approach, the same focus is not there from these athletes today, because they are so immensely talented that they think, I don't need to be. I'm one of them.
I think you hit something on the nose. The two things that was so crazy right now that I don't think we're all thinking about, and it's right in front of our face, and we all admit the ratings are down. And there's no way Amazon and these guys paid that much money to the NBA to let this thing go down the drain. They're definitely going to put marketing dollars behind this. ESPN or whoever's going to show inside the NBA. So number one, the first thing I thought of was, if you think TNT and the media is the problem, well, let's just take Shaq off inside the NBA, because we don't need him on there. Now you go replace him with somebody that can challenge Charles Barkley from this generation. That's still going to make it fun for us, because that's the part that we're overlooking. That inside the NBA is still the best show in sports, not football, not baseball, in sports. And Barkley's the man at that. I don't want to watch him on anything else, by the way. And that's okay. But JJ Redick couldn't go inside the NBA studios and make it. Maybe he could, actually, because he does have a personality. He's the guy that's missing in sports media, in my opinion. That's why I do like JJ Redick. Yeah, he is arrogant, but you need that level of, you got to have that to make it through Duke, make it in the NBA for that long. And whatever kind of success he had, whatever kind of success people don't deem he has, to translate that to the media world and then remain like, oh shit, I'm a Lakers coach now. You can't do that without JJ's arrogance, that ingredient. But also, he's a super personality that I've seen be funny on First Take and take jokes. So maybe that is the ingredient they're missing on Inside the NBA, is the JJ Redick on there, because you do need someone to defend this era. I agree with JJ Redick on that part, but neither one of them denied that the ratings are messed up. And this style of play is partially due to that. And Barkley has always been consistent about this style of play, including to the point you always bring up. He's always hated the Warriors shooting like that. And he thought they wouldn't win the championship shooting like that.
they'll never win. I remember quotes from him. No, you can't win a championship living and dying by the three. And they did it. And they did it.
And that was literally 10 years, over a decade ago.
Mhm.
So, and the other thing that you just hit on that is bananas and nobody's even talking about, which brings me back to a point from a couple episodes ago. It's only Joker and Giannis up for the MVP, basically. And SGA might sneak in there, but SGA, we know until he wins a championship and goes through this McDonald's Gatorade commercial run that John Morant could just, he snaps his finger, he could actually achieve superstardom, Allen Iverson, those guys. SGA isn't quite that. He would have to win to get that, and I don't know if he would get it since he is Canadian. But when the big men were dominating in the MVP race, the NBA wasn't cared about either. When Shaq was doing it, when Tim Duncan, it was like ratings dropped. When it was Mike versus Barkley, when they were in the mix for MVP race, Isaiah Thomas, Magic, we were watching. And now we do have a lot of players like that, but they don't have a chance at MVP. And partially because, like you said, y'all playing so much alike that it's a turnoff. We're going through the ups and downs of it. I
did not think about that.
What's that?
Because, but you could say, oh yeah, but Mike early through the 90s. Yeah, that's a great point.
You made the point.
yeah, but you expounded on it because you were saying that comparing it to when the big man era was huge and the bigs were winning MVPs and things like that, how popular was the league then? 94, 95, Olajuwon and David Robinson won MVP. I would be curious to know what were the ratings like? That's a great question. What were the ratings like when Michael Jordan left? That first time.
It definitely dropped.
Because that would lend to your argument, to both our points, really.
The retirement of Michael Jordan set in motion a decline in NBA ratings which continued for several years. Ratings for the 99 finals were down significantly from the previous year from 18.7 to an 11.3.
That's 98.
99, 2000. Oh, they got back over here. 94. Mike Fratello.
Big shout out to Czar.
The Czar.
Mike Fratello.
He was a character on TV too.
He was.
Even though he was like whatever, but it was still like we know he's a character. We should be like, whatever. Fratello in the car, but the 93 finals were Michael Jordan's last before his retirement. The Rockets would take the next two consecutively. Jordan's first game back in March 19th between the Bulls and Pacers scored a 10.9 rating for NBC, the highest rated regular season NBA game of all time. God damn.
I remember that.
I watched that game. I was at my aunt Carmen's house when I saw that when Jordan came back on the Pacers.
I was in the basement of my pop's crib.
So the 93 finals were Michael Jordan's last before his retirement. The Rockets would take the next two consecutively. The ratings for those next two finals decreased, but still had above average views. And the 95 finals even came to within 0.3 rating points to the 92 finals, which featured Shaq and making the finals with the Orlando Magic and was swept by the Rockets. So they were very close to the 92 finals. In the 95 finals was very close to the 92 finals. So there was something. I guess we're wrong.
Yeah, well, I guess we could say that the game was still they were still watching. Well, Shaq, who did they say? Shaq.
Right. Who's
Shaq?
Right. And Shaq and Olajuwon with he's
that was
competition because that's different than Shaq. That's different than Shaq in 99, which the ratings dropped because over here, Jordan's first game back, they have the highest rated regular season game of all time with against the Indiana Pacers. And then the game one of the 96 finals between the Bulls and the Supersonics, that had a 16.8 rating and a 31 share of NBC. Game one was viewed in a then record 16 million homes on June 16, 96. Game 6 of the NBA Finals drew an 18.8 rating and a 35 share. The 6 games of the 1996 NBA Finals averaged a 16.7 rating, which ranked second all time behind the 93 Finals. So Jordan was just going bananas. So part of this is Michael Jordan, and he had, he had TV in the bag. We know that.
For sure.
But
For sure.
and the land of the Giants and everything. But again, there is no Michael Jordan of today. So SG is potentially that skill wise, but superstardom is just lacking. And
yeah, like they can't complain about the league being just a 3-point shooting league when the best players in the league all get it in the mid range.
Right.
Like all of them get it in the mid range or in the mid post. They have the ability to shoot the three. That's just an elevated art now because, and let's be fair. This is all happening through the era of Steph Curry, right? It's happening, it's advanced and it's something that people are trying to mirror because they feel like they could shoot like him, right? There's this literal delusion, I think, that people think that they can shoot like him. The ability to shoot like that is more attainable than the ability to have a prime LeBron James's athletic ability. That's easier to shoot for. No pun intended, right? Like
AllBall TV. They scared, but I'm not. They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.